Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
A cold front has moved through and it's cold out there, and our next weather maker could bring some flurries. I'll show you where coming up.
Breaking ground. Swiss drug maker Novartis is expanding in the Triangle. We're going to lay out the details of construction and the economic effect. Plus, nurse charged, accused of sexually assaulting at least 2 patients at UNC Rex Hospital. Well, led officers to him and the search for more possible victims. Thank you so much for joining us on this Thursday afternoon. I'm Chris Lovingood. Renee Chu has the afternoon off. It's cooler with lots of sunshine for your Thursday behind a cold front. In fact, meteorologist Amy Wilmoth is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Amy, just in the 40s this afternoon and maybe some flurries tomorrow.
That's right. Now, it's not going to be a big deal, nothing to get excited about, but I'll show you who has the best chance at seeing some of those flurries coming up in just a bit. But it's nice to see the bright blue sky out there today. This is a live look over the North Hills Shopping Center, a busy spot this time of year with everybody doing their holiday shopping, and you need to bundle up if you're headed out today. It's cold. Yesterday we reached the upper 50s for highs. Today at the noon hour we're still in the mid 40s in Raleigh and Durham, 45 degrees, and there's a bit of a breeze, and that's making it feel even colder. It feels like 40 right now in Raleigh. It feels like 34 up in Roxborough. At one point in the last hour we had a gust at 31 miles per hour out at RDU, so a bit blustery out there today behind the cold front. It's also very dry, low dew points out there, and that's key to note when we're talking about our next weather maker and the potential for flurries tomorrow morning. More on that in just a moment. Let's talk about the hour-by-hour forecast today. Temperatures are not going to go up much. We'll sit in the mid-40s for the rest of the afternoon. For the evening commute, we'll have mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. Temperatures will cool back into the upper 30s by about 6 o'clock this evening, and it will be cold overnight tonight. Low temperatures will fall into the lower 30s, but that dry air will remain in place. So when we're talking about our next weather maker, which is well to the north and west of us right now, it's going to dive down to the south and east, and it might bring a few flurries to our northern counties, but look at the chance for a probability of an inch of snow. Extremely low. So if anything, we're just getting some flurries, and it's just going to be in our northern communities early tomorrow morning. And I'll walk you through that with Futurecast coming up in just a bit.
All right, sounds good, Amy. Thank you. A Swiss drug maker is breaking ground on new buildings in Durham today. Novartis plans to spend hundreds of millions of dollars in that area. The goal is to add roughly 700 jobs by the end of the decade. Let's go and bring in Sean Gallagher. He's at the groundbreaking this afternoon. Sean, this is a pretty big investment they're making.
Yeah, that's for sure, Chris. I mean, the company's already been here for some 2 decades at this point. There's a really big reason why. But this groundbreaking here today is the beginning of a $770 million renovation and new build here in Durham, a move that reinforces Novartis's commitment to North Carolina. Officials say this will nearly double Novartis's operational footprint here in the state, leading to an increase in manufacturing capacity for gene therapies. That's why last month the state officials approved $7.5 million in incentives if the company hits its hiring and investment targets. And after 2 decades here, there is a big reason it wants to stay.
They really wanted to grow here, again, in large part because of the workforce. That's something that we hear from a lot of companies. This area is home to a well-educated workforce that will do really well in advanced manufacturing settings. There's also a number of biopharmaceutical manufacturers already here, so there's a good ecosystem. And they say that the state is a really great place to do business.
Officials are estimating the project could grow the state economy by more than $3 billion over the life of the grant. And these new jobs will have average salaries north of $110,000 a year. That is about $15,000 more than the Durham County average. In Durham, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
We have breaking news that we've been following. A federal judge in Maryland ordered the immediate release of Kilmar Abrego Garcia from ICE custody. He's the man from El Salvador who was mistakenly deported to a prison there this year before being returned to the United States. The ruling paves the way for ICE to release Abrego Garcia. However, he remains subject to the pretrial release conditions imposed in his criminal case. In just over an hour, a now fired UNC Rex nurse accused of sexually assaulting at least 2 of his patients will be in court. WRAL's Carly Haynes is live outside the Wake County Justice Center. Carly, Brian Alvarez Ortiz no longer works at the hospital, as I mentioned.
Yes, UNC Rex fired him and the State Board of Nursing suspended his license, all within the same month of when these incidents are believed to have occurred. Now, Brian Alvarez Ortiz was first hired by UNC Rex, starting off as a clinical specialist, and then he got his license after finishing nursing school this past May. According to arrest warrants, the offenses happened just 6 months later. Police said a patient reported that they had been sexually assaulted by Alvarez Ortiz while they were sedated. Through their investigation, Raleigh police identified another patient. Alvarez Ortiz is now facing charges for kidnapping, sexual contact under context of medical treatment, sexual battery, and more.
We cannot confirm that there were other victims right at this point, but there is a chance that there are other victims.
UNC Rex issued a statement that reads in part, "We are deeply saddened and outraged by the nature of these allegations. Our hearts are with the patients involved and their families." Now, UNC Rex has established a hotline for anybody else who thinks they may have been a victim to come forward. We have that number listed on our website. He's set to appear in court at 1:30 this afternoon. Carly Haynes, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
A Harnett County employee charged with exploitation of a child is being held on no bond. Chris Hawk is charged with 10 counts of third-degree sexual exploitation of a child. Last month, the U.S. Secret Service notified the sheriff's office about dozens of tips related to online child sexual abuse. After getting a search warrant, authorities found computers, media storage devices, and a mobile phone containing child sexual abuse material, according to investigators. The second Charlotte light rail stabbing victim is now under arrest. The victim, Kenyon Doby, appeared in court this morning. You may recall we interviewed him after he was sent to the hospital because of that attack last week. Officers say that's when Oscar Solorzano stabbed him. It turns out Doby was wanted by police for punching a pregnant woman he was dating back in October. A GoFundMe set up for Doby has raised nearly $103,000.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, NASCAR has settled an antitrust lawsuit with two race teams, including one that is co-owned by NBA legend Michael Jordan. 23XI and Front Row Motorsports, which is owned by Bob Jenkins, they filed suit last year after refusing to sign agreements on the new charter offers that NASCAR presented to teams in September of last year. A charter is the equivalent of a franchise in other sports. But in NASCAR, a charter guarantees cars a spot in the 40-car field each week. The settlement was announced following a lengthy delay on the 9th day of trial in federal court. Teams had until the end of day to sign documents, and 13 of 15 organizations reluctantly agreed. Jordan and Jenkins sued instead and raced the bulk of this year unchartered. And NASCAR is expected to conclude its defense tomorrow.
A group of Wake County students experienced an hour learning about AI today. I'm going to show you Dillard Drive Magnet Middle School's game designing class right here. Students used AI to make music, and this was part of a presentation from the North Carolina Department of IT. Staff and volunteers talked to students about how AI can be used both safely and productively.
So we wanted to show them the art of possible and show them how using code and AI together can create a beautiful experience with music, but at the same time, ensure that we're teaching them what are safe passwords, what not to put online, how to make sure you're using it correctly.
The activity was part of a Observing Computer Science Education Week. Time named its 2025 Person of the Year, and it's actually a group of people. The Architects of AI took this year's title. A digital artist recreated the lunch atop a skyscraper photograph from 1932. They replaced the ironworkers with executives at leading tech and AI companies. The magazine has named its Person of the Year title annually since 1927. The New York Stock Exchange welcomed time to celebrate the announcement by ringing the opening bell. And while we're talking about stocks today, let's see. Looks like the Dow Jones up pretty good, 559 points there. We've been watching that closely to see if any significant gains would be made today. We're looking elsewhere to see how things could appear by the closing bell later at 4:30 today. But right now, it looks like the Dow is looking up. Next at noon, questioning presidential orders. The hearing today about President Trump deploying the National Guard in American cities and whether it's truly legal for him to do that. Plus, catastrophic flooding. That's how forecasters in the Pacific Northwest are describing conditions there. We're going to show you a closer look at how severe the relentless rainfall has become. And it's Berger versus Page. Both candidates think they can win the state Senate race, but One has the backing of President Trump, not the other. A live report on why he would care about a state-level race.
Coming up next, sea storms moving in with WRAL's exclusive Dual Doppler 5000, sponsored by the WRAL Weather app. Download now for live radar.
The man accused of killing Charlie Kirk is expected to make his first in-person court appearance this afternoon. Tyler Robinson faces several felonies, including aggravated murder. And this is in connection with the shooting at Utah Valley University back in September. Today's hearing is open to the public, and the judge has imposed strict guidelines on how the media can show Robinson. He cannot be photographed or filmed in shackles and may only be depicted while seated. Images of his family members are prohibited. Nobel laureate Maria Corina Machado, addressed the world from Oslo, Norway today. That was just hours after her daughter accepted this year's Peace Prize on her behalf. Machado has been in hiding and faces threats of being labeled a fugitive back in Venezuela. Supporters cheered and shouted as she walked among them in the square outside her hotel. Organizers of Wednesday's Nobel ceremony said that she had done everything in her power to attend, but her journey involved extreme danger. Today, Machado thanked those who risked their lives for her to travel to Norway, and she also spoke of her hope that Venezuela would make an orderly transition to democracy.
I believe that our experience in Venezuela conveys to the world a testimony that certainly in order to have peace, you require democracy. Democracy is the system that enables peace in a society. But you cannot have democracy without freedom.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro warned that she could be considered a fugitive by authorities if she left Venezuela. Machado also visited the Norwegian Parliament building where she met with lawmakers. New this noon, a Senate committee is questioning military leaders over President Donald Trump deploying the National Guard in American cities. The Senate Armed Services Committee is questioning Pentagon leaders over the legality of the deployments. The president justified the use of the military in American cities by saying the National Guard is needed. He said they would support federal law enforcement, protect federal facilities, and combat crime. In the House, a hearing is underway on the Trump administration's hardline approach to immigration. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is facing tough questioning from Democrats about this. Before her testimony, protesters briefly interrupted the hearing but were escorted out. A federal judge is investigating whether Noem should face a contempt charge over flights carrying migrants to El Salvador. Severe flooding and relentless rainfall has led to a state of emergency in Washington state. It's so severe there, hundreds of National Guardsmen are deployed. NBC's Camila Bernal takes us to where evacuation orders are in effect.
A powerful and long-lasting atmospheric river is pounding the Pacific Northwest this morning, with swollen rivers threatening homes, livestock, and lives.
Take it seriously. Get the hell out of there. It's already rising.
Swiftwater teams searching flooded homes for stranded residents, rescuing 7 at this RV park in the town of Ording.
So many things of people's belongings that this river has just taken.
A mudslide shutting down I-90, trapping cars. Tens of thousands under evacuation orders, including the city of Mount Vernon, an hour north of Seattle. State officials calling the situation life-threatening.
We're expecting a number of rivers to reach or exceed record flood levels.
The Skykomish River already at major flood stage, set to rise even higher. Local officials warning drivers to be wary of high water.
You don't know how deep it is, you don't know how swift it is, and this is what happens. You get stuck there, and then it's a situation that you can't control.
Floodwaters also threatening farms like this one in Falls City, Washington. Millions nationwide are dealing with the aftermath of a Clipper-type system. From whiteout conditions in Minnesota to ice-slick roads in North Dakota.
But I've got another rollover, same location. Give me another unit.
Where deputies assisting a person injured in a rollover captured a nearly identical accident on their body cams. Heavy snow also leaving the school bus stranded in Minnesota. While back in Washington, the worst may be yet to come, as 15 rivers could see major flooding this week.
The situation is extremely serious. The next few days are going to be very critical.
You know, I know we had some cold weather this week, obviously, but I mean, like the conditions that they're dealing with out in the Pacific Northwest, nothing like what we're seeing here. But, you know, it's really the drought status you've been kind of focusing on, even though we've had some rainfall this week.
Yeah, it improved a little bit. So last week we had an update on Thursday, and we were at about 55% of the state in this moderate drought region, which includes a good part of our area. Well, now it's down to about 42 to 43%. So improved a little bit with the couple events that we had on Friday and then again on Monday. Bottom line is we could use at least a little bit of that rain that they're getting across the Pacific Northwest. A live look at Franklinton. We're not getting rain today. It is a bright blue sky over Franklinton, beautiful with the holiday decorations there, but it's cold outside, so bundle up if you're headed out. 46 in Holly Springs, 47 in Fayetteville, 45 right now in Cary. It's 46 in Chapel Hill, and temperatures will stay in the 40s through the afternoon. Check out the winds right now. We have some gusts to 18 miles per hour in the Triangle, 19 mile per hour gusts right now in Rocky Mount and in Roxborough, and that's making it feel even colder. It feels like 36 in Roxborough, feels like 40 in Raleigh and Durham. So it's a cold day out there today. Temperatures aren't going to go up much from here, mid 40s to upper 40s across the area. At least we have the sunshine because it is breezy, so you do want to wear that coat if you're headed out and about. And make sure the kids are bundled up for after school practices. Temperatures will fall back down into the 30s by 6 o'clock this evening. It'll be a cold night tonight, a bit colder compared to where we started this morning. We'll get down into the upper 20s and lower 30s. This is the next system that we're watching, and it could bring a few snow flurries across the northern half of our area very early tomorrow morning. This isn't something that's going to stick, that's going to cause any road issues, but you might be driving around early in the morning and see a few flurries flying by. So we'll pause the clock here around 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. So Roxborough, maybe you'll see a few of those flurries, and then it will continue moving to the east a little bit. And we have a camera in Roxborough, Carr Lake. We have one up in South Hill and at Lake Gaston. So we'll be monitoring those cameras tomorrow morning to see if we're going to get some of those flurries, but it's not going to be a big deal. And pretty much all of it will be north of the Triangle, just impacting our northern counties, and really no impact to area roads expected. So that's the next weather maker. For this weekend, looks great for Saturday's events. So we have the Durham Christmas Parade in the morning. Temperatures will be a little chilly in the 40s. And then the Cary Christmas Parade in the afternoon on Saturday. Temperatures will be mainly in the 50s, low to mid 50s for that. So you don't need to bundle up for that. The next thing you'll want to look out for is Saturday night. The Geminid meteor shower will peak overnight Saturday into early Sunday morning. We have more on this on our website, WRAL.com. Tony Rice goes into detail on this meteor shower. About 60 meters per hour if you're in a rural dark spot, 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. But you could start to see these as early as after sunset. And so if you're looking during the peak, you want to look straight up, and you'll start to see some meteors once you kind of let your eyes settle in for about 10 minutes. It's going to be a pretty good meteor shower, usually the best of the year. Still chilly on Friday, warming it up Saturday a little bit. Another rainmaker on Sunday. We'll talk more about that in the next half hour. And then look at that. It is very cold early next week, Chris.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, a really fun celebration this afternoon. Today, seniors from all across Wake County, they got together to experience a special holiday tradition. It is the 68th year for the beloved Golden Year celebration. Capital Broadcasting Company partners with the city of Raleigh to bring holiday cheer to people 50 and up. And there they are, Ken Smith, Renee Chu, and Brian Schrader, all there. They got to enjoy live entertainment, a meal, vendor booths, raffles, and a festive atmosphere. It happened this morning at May Mandy Concert Hall. And again, our WRAL folks there, Ken Smith, Brian Schrader, and Renee Chu, all there for the fun.
Such a fun event, but I want to see the video of them dancing. They did it last year. I want to see it this year, too. Thanks, Michelle. All right, coming up on our news this afternoon, AI in schools. Artificial intelligence is quickly becoming a part of life and really everything we do. That extends to schools, which is why tonight at 4, we're going to get a closer look at how it's transforming Wake County schools. Plus, closer to recognition. The Lumbee tribe in eastern North Carolina is a step closer to getting federal recognition. We'll break down how it could transform life for people in the tribe and beyond at 5. Restoring faith in humanity. How viewers stepped in to help a Lewisburg family in need after a 5-on-your side story. And delivery deadlines. We're exactly 2 weeks away from Christmas. Talking to you, procrastinators. We'll help you save time and money on shipping fees. It's a 5-on-your-side success story right in the time for the holidays. Now, Keely Arthur shares how her story back in September convinced viewers to step up and help a Lewisburg family in need.
We love a heartwarming 5 on Your Side story, and this one centers on this house. Now, the owner, Bill Harris, has ALS, and his wife has stage 4 breast cancer.
This home has been in the Harris family for generations, and the Harrises hope to have it restored before their conditions worsened. They paid a contractor $10,000, but got nothing in return. Well, after our story aired, a group of WRAL one-day painting franchise owners stepped in to help.
Given the circumstance that the family is in addition to being, done dirty by that other contractor, again, it was just something that to us seemed like a no-brainer. We're in a position to help. Why wouldn't we help?
Thank you so much for everything you guys have done. We couldn't have done it without you.
The contractors donated $15,000 worth of work to make the house look like this. Coming up tonight at 6, I'm going to speak with them a little bit more, talk to the family they helped, and I also speak with the contractor who didn't do any of the work, his excuse and reasoning coming up. Keely Arthur, 5 on Your Side.
Homeowners are looking for any savings they can get. The Mortgage Banker Association's numbers show total applications to refinance a home loan rose 14% last week. That's compared to the previous week. Demand for FHA refinances was up 24% for the week, and that's likely because the FHA interest rate for 30 years of a fixed loan fell to 6.8%. 6.08%, I should say. That's the lowest level since September 2024. All right, you have less than a week of holiday shopping left, and your shipping window getting kind of narrow. The U.S. Postal Service suggests shipping packages by next Wednesday to get them delivered before the holiday. If you want to spend a bit extra, you can pay for priority mail, and that'll get you, at least will get you until next Thursday. Priority Mail Express, too, gets you until next Saturday. Spice maker McCormick has revealed that its 2026 flavor of the year is black currant. McCormick predicts the tart berry, bit of a tongue tire today, folks, will soon be in American dishes and drinks with its origins in Europe and Central Asia. Black currant is starting to appear on menus in the U.S., notably in cocktails and soft drinks. The company's flavor of the year is part of its annual report on dining trends. The berry can elevate dishes and then take them from simple to spectacular. Senate seat showdown. President Trump throws his weight behind one of the candidates vying to serve Rockingham County. Reaction to the news, that's straight ahead. And a Christmas miracle. A girl from North Carolina asked for food. You get to see the wave of generosity that her letter started. And we do have your winning NC Education lottery numbers. Good luck. Last night, President Trump waded into local politics right here in North Carolina. He's never been shy about endorsing political candidates, but he doesn't often focus on state legislators, especially when Trump himself isn't on the ticket. So what was his attention? Has it, I should say. WRAL state government reporter Will Doran is here to break that down for us today. Talk a little bit about this, Will.
Yeah, Chris, Phil Berger has led the state Senate here in North Carolina ever since Republicans took control 15 years ago. But for the first time, he's facing a serious primary challenger coming up in 2026. Rockingham County Sheriff Sam Page says that Berger isn't conservative enough and has just lost touch with the people in their district. And there has been real worry among Republican leaders that Berger could actually lose this race, or that even if he wins, he'll have to spend gobs of money to do that, taking funds away from other Republican politicians in 2026. So in comes President Trump last night endorsing Berger. Trump pointed to plenty of things: Berger's years of success cutting tax rates in North Carolina, pushing for school choice, his ramped up focus on immigration this year. The list went on and on. But I'd like to focus on one particular part of Trump's post. That's because he also praises Sam Page, his opponent. And this right here is why Page is such a danger to Berger. He has serious MAGA credentials. Trump knows it, and voters know it too. So you can see here, Trump tries offering Page a way out, promising him a nice job up in D.C. if he agrees to drop out of this race. But Page refused that offer, and he wrote in his own social media post last night that he thinks he can still beat Berger. He said, quote, "I'm running for the state Senate because I've spent my career being tough on crime, defending conservative values, and protecting the people of the state." So, Chris, this is clearly shaping up to be the race to watch in the fast-approaching March primaries here in North Carolina, and we'll be watching what happens now that Trump has weighed in. And for our breaking news on this story last night and all of our state politics coverage, people can head online to the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com.
All right, thank you for that, Will. Well, the race in North Carolina's 4th congressional district just got a bit more crowded. Durham County Commissioner Nida Alam has announced she is entering the race. She's challenging incumbent Congresswoman Valerie Foushee in a Democratic primary. Alam has been an elected official in Durham County since 2020. She previously ran for that seat in 2022. And WRAL also caught up with Congresswoman Foushee when she filed for re-election last week. She has represented that district since 2022 and previously served in North Carolina's General Assembly and on the Orange County Board of Commissioners. No word just yet on charges in a crash that ended with a car leaning against an apartment building. A fire official says one unit in the building has been deemed unsafe because of the hole the crash left in the wall. 3 people are now out of their homes because of all of this, and police say they were told the driver swerved to avoid a pedestrian, and the driver only had minor injuries. New at noon, Cumberland County deputies charged a woman connected to a deputy involved in a shooting there. In the last 90 minutes, we have learned the sheriff's office charged Dorothy Simpkins with 2 counts of assault with a deadly weapon. She's in jail on a $102,000 bond and due in court this afternoon. The sheriff's office told us a deputy shot Simpkins last month after she lunged at him with a knife. She's been recovering in the hospital the past few weeks, and the call started as some sort of domestic situation. A letter to Santa from a 10-year-old in Alamance County is having a huge effect on families. Instead of asking for games and toys for herself, she had just one request: food, snacks, to be exact. Sarah Sowers explains how the letter inspired the community to give back.
It's something that's really just brought the community together.
Jesse Summers State Farm in downtown Gibsonville collected letters from children in the community with their wish lists for Santa, hoping to bless families with gifts and return letters by Christmas Day. But one letter stood out.
It said, "Hi, my name is Riley. I'm 10 years old. I've been a little bit naughty and a little bit nice this year, and my wish list for Christmas is that I would like to get food." And it just broke my heart.
After a call out to Facebook to try to locate Riley and the post going viral, Summers found Riley.
I decided to write food because when I meant by food, I like my grandparents' snacks that they make right before Christmas, and they're really good.
This simple wish for food was one that Summers realized could help so many elementary students just like Riley across Alamance County. Did you think that when you wrote food on this little wish list that all of this big stuff would happen?
No, not at all.
We have been taking donations and are going to be blessing lots of kids in the local schools towards Christmas.
In just 10 days, they've amassed dozens of grocery gift cards and more than 300 pieces of canned or boxed foods, all getting packaged for delivery at local schools and the Gibsonville Library.
It makes me feel good that other people in need can get food.
In addition to food, some families in our community are unable to purchase warm winter gear this season, but you can help through WRAL's annual Coats for the Children campaign. Now through December 31st, we need your help to gather as many coats and hats and gloves as possible. To find a neighborhood Jiffy Lube drop-off location near you or to make a monetary donation, scan that QR code, the one right there on your screen. You can also go to WRAL.com/coats. Help WRAL and the Salvation Army spread warmth and hope. Bot in the library. We'll introduce you to the newest helper at a Hawaii library and how it's helping there and other places. Plus, holiday heart syndrome, what experts suggest you should do to reduce the risk and how not doing so could be harmful. Just so you know, our team is working to bring you exclusive stories. For coverage you'll find only on WRAL, visit WRAL.com and search only. Getting you a live look at Fenton and Cary this afternoon. Not too many people out there, likely at work, but I suspect some people will hit the rink here pretty soon. As you're watching WRAL News, available on YouTube TV and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device. Librarians in Honolulu now have a robotic helper. Meet Pepper, the humanoid robot that helps guests with directions, making friendly conversation, and providing tutorials. The robot interacts using voice gestures and a touchscreen too. For now, the AI feature is disabled on the library's Pepper robot. That's to avoid it from giving inaccurate answers when asked questions.
If we have technology that helps us do some of the basic work, or gives us an opportunity to create services when we're not available, I think it's a wonderful thing because then it's better services for everybody. So we see it as a way of expanding, not contracting.
They're trying to help. It's not like Skynet or anything, possibly. There are multiple Pepper robots nationwide, each programmed to help with different services, including at restaurants or even gyms.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, following some health news out of Pitt County this afternoon. A case of tuberculosis has been confirmed at Farmville Middle School. That's about an hour east of Raleigh. The department was notified on Monday, and a letter was sent out to parents and guardians informing them of this. The health director said that there is no direct immediate public health risk, and they will inform parents and staff of students who need to be tested. But the majority of staff and students will not need to be tested. TB is completely curable with medication.
More people die from heart attacks at the end of December than at any other point of the year. Medical experts say you don't have to have a heart problem to be at risk. It's called holiday heart syndrome. Basically, it's when people develop a sudden onset of stress on the heart or abnormal heart rhythms because of choices that are made during the holidays.
You want to enjoy yourself, but you really want to celebrate smart, and you want to be mindful that these things can occur, and a little bit of prevention goes a long way.
Now, to lower risk of holiday heart syndrome, be mindful of how much you're drinking. Limit salty and rich foods that can stress the heart as well. Pet-related fires. We're going to help you recognize hazards in your home in ways you can reduce the risk. Plus, safe shopping. All toys in the U.S. must comply with safety standards. However, some come with very small, teeny tiny pieces. We'll share 3 simple ways to avoid the hospital this holiday season. If you're planning to buy a toy for a child this holiday season, here's some advice to keep in mind. Besides buying age-appropriate toys, it's also important to be mindful of toys that come with a lot of small pieces. If you're ever unsure, consider whether it can fit through a toilet paper roll. If it can, well, it's a choking hazard. The same advice applies with toys with batteries in them. Those should have a cover that's screwed shut. Finally, make sure to throw away leftover packaging.
There are some things that smaller children or babies or toddlers could potentially get their fingers caught in. There are things that they could eat or swallow that could be harmful. So it's really important. I think sometimes we get excited about what the toys can do and all the bells and whistles and lights, and we think it'll be fun, but it's important to pay attention to the recommendations by age.
And while it might be tempting to buy toys with a lot of lights and sounds, it's okay to get children simple things like puzzles, stuffed animals, and board games. And if you go to WRAL.com and search recall, we have a list of things you should be careful of, including possible choking hazards. In October, we shared video from the Chapel Hill Fire Department of a fire caused by a bit of a curious dog. The animal chewed into a device that had a lithium-ion battery, sparking the fire you see here. Now, the dog was okay, and there was no serious damage to the home. And while homeowners and renters may take precautions to prevent house fires, many might be overlooking a 4-legged potential culprit. Here's Kevin Uretsky.
While pets can liven up a home, some can also put it at risk of going up in flames.
Sometimes some fires within a home or a residential setting can be started by our pets accidentally.
Animal experts like Sarah Manning of Texas A&M University are reminding owners of the importance of fireproofing their homes from their pets.
Every once in a while we have situations where a stove accidentally gets ignited because a pet goes and jumps on the stovetop.
Removing knobs from stoves when they're not in use can prevent them from being turned on if pets bump into them. If your pet can't be trusted when unsupervised, it might be safest to limit their access to certain rooms if you leave to run errands.
Some, they tend to be a little mischievous and they tend to get into things and chew on things. So keeping them in a safe crate or secluded in a room that is very safe for them to be in is another option.
Open flames, even if they're on tables or counters, can also be risky for wagging tails and creatures who love to climb. Switching to flameless candle warmers can reduce stress. You'll also want to consider safely handling any holiday decorations at this time of the year.
Christmas lights or trees or extra decorations that are out, unplug them before you leave so we don't worry about what happens when they're not there.
Meanwhile, Manning says it's critical to have a pet-friendly evacuation plan in place in case you ever need to quickly escape.
Creating a plan and practicing it gives you a step up for any time you might need to evacuate or be prepared to leave.
Yeah, I'm a tech guy, so I have like wires and stuff. We try to hide that from Cha-Cha. She's short, but she can still nibble.
Yeah. Just get a lazy dog and they'll just lay on the couch while you're gone. That's it. That's what I got.
Weather-wise, looking pretty clear and calm over in Durham.
Yeah, not bad. A lot of sunshine today. The only thing you'll notice is it is colder. We had a cold front move through, and so temperatures are going to stay in the 40s through the day today. But a beautiful blue sky over downtown Durham right now. It's 45 degrees right now in Durham. At this time yesterday, we were in the low 50s. It's 47 degrees right now over in Goldsboro and in Fayetteville. It's also 47 right now in Southern Pines. There is a little bit of a breeze. At times earlier, it was gusting at 30 miles per hour at RDU. So a little blustery out there today, making it feel colder, feeling like upper 30s in Roxborough, right around 40 is what it feels like in and around the Triangle. So it's a cold day today. Temperatures are in the mid to upper 40s instead of mid to upper 50s like we had yesterday. And as the sun sets, the temperature will drop. We'll have temperatures getting down into the upper 20s and low 30s tonight, right around 30 in the Triangle. So it'll be a cold night tonight. We'll need to bundle up as we head out the door tomorrow morning. Also tomorrow morning, you might see a few flurries, especially if you're in the northern part of our viewing area. So I'll pause the clock here around 7:30 in the morning. Just a stray flurry or two possible as you get closer to that Virginia state line tomorrow morning. Most of you won't get anything, but some flurries will be possible in our northern counties. Saturday, if you have outdoor plans, Saturday looks like the pick day of the weekend. We'll have a lot of sunshine. I know we have a lot of holiday events going on as well. Sunday gets here, and that's when our Arctic front is going to arrive. Sunday's going to be windy. It's going to be cold. It's not going to be a good day to be outside. And in the morning, this is 6 in the morning, a couple of spotty showers will be possible ahead of the Arctic air. So a few showers early in the morning, and then once the Arctic air arrives, maybe a couple of flurries in the northeastern part of our viewing area in the afternoon. Not a big deal. I wouldn't expect it to impact anybody on roads or anything like that, but maybe a couple of flurries as that front continues to swing on by. And then the cold air arrives, and I'll talk more about the Arctic cold air that arrives for Monday in just a moment. But Saturday, definitely the pick day this weekend. Mostly sunny, milder, 55 degrees, beautiful. We've got the Cary Parade, we've got the Durham Parade, beautiful weather for that. Early showers possible on Sunday. It is going to be colder. It will be breezy. Our high just 44 degrees. And then the Arctic air moves in. So Monday morning, the actual low temperature, what we're forecasting is colder compared to what we were forecasting yesterday. 18 for the morning low on Monday, 24 for the morning low on Tuesday. So very, very cold. The problem with Monday is it's also going to be a little bit breezy in the morning. So this is what we could wake up to as far as how it feels Monday morning in the single digits in most locations. So Monday morning, we have to wear all the layers. Kids are going to school. They're going to need the hats. They're going to need the gloves, the heavy winter coat, all the things Monday morning. It is going to be very cold. And Monday afternoon, it really doesn't warm up that much. We'll have a lot of sunshine, but it's only upper 30s for highs. Tuesday, it'll be a little bit better, but still very cold in the morning, 24, 49 in the afternoon, and then back to normal Wednesday with high temperatures back in the 50s.
I blacked out when I saw the wind chill there, Amy. Thank you for that. Pricey portrait, the painting that introduced the world to a galaxy far, far away, brought in millions of dollars at auction. The price an anonymous bidder paid for this cultural artifact. And we do have your winning Powerball numbers right here on your screen. 10, 16, 29, 33, 69. Powerball's 22 and the multipliers 3. No jackpot winner last night, which means Saturday's drawing will be worth $1 billion. As we end things, here's a look at a few of the headlines that we're following today. A Swiss drug maker is breaking ground on new buildings in Durham today. Novartis plans to spend hundreds of millions of dollars in this area.